Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer. Welcome back to Farming Simulator 2017, and welcome back to Northstone Farm. So, it has been it's been an interesting afternoon on the farm. We're down at field 4, which is this little wee one. You can't really see it that well. Let's get to it here. We're down at field 4, which is this little guy right over here. So let me tell you what's going on. Last episode, actually, let me step over here so we don't get run over and cultivated in. Last episode, we had our Amazon drill going on field 11. We were planting barley. I finished that up off camera. For this episode, I put the 7810 on that Amazon drill with a front weight and sent it down here to field 8 to drill canola on a worker, right? Course play. And then I jumped on the 6R with this thing, right? This monstrosity. I have kind of a love-hate relationship with this thing. So, put that on the 6R and took the 6R over to field 33 to drill sunflower. Two things happened. One is the 7810, which is a more realistic tractor, was having a hell of a time with that little Amazon, because field 8 has a pretty sizable hill in it. And then this thing was causing me no end of trouble in field 33. I think I have isolated the problem, and I think what the problem is that we're running some terrain control scripts, we're running more realistic, we're running Gearbox, we're running a lot of sort of physics mods, and basically what happens with this thing, so I swapped it over. This is the 7810 now. I had it on the 6R, and every time you drop this thing, it's making the front wheels sink into the mud, and it's bringing the rear wheels off the ground. I've seen similar things with more realistic and terrain control. And this mod, remember, this is from Mod Contest 2017, which is, I want to say that predates more realistic coming off of GitHub. I think you could still get more realistic on GitHub, but I don't think it was like commonly available. So there weren't a ton of implements that were more realistic modified. I have a feeling this mod is not adjusted for more realistic, and I think because more realistic can sort of interfere with terrain control and vice versa, I think that's what's causing the problem. It's doing the same thing on the 7810. We can make it work, but it's ugly. It's also not a direct drill. So we had to bring the 6R out here with a weight and the little cultiplow, there it is, and a little cultiplow to prep this field for us. Once the 6R is done, we're going to hop in the 7810, and it's going to be ugly, but we're going to do it. So in the meantime, as you can see, and I'll bring it down here so it's got a dark background. As you can see, our pigs are hungry. So while the 6R is working, let's run over and grab our MAN rigid truck and take the pigs some food. Man, it has been... I've been sitting here farming for probably 4 hours, 4 to 5 hours. And the first 1 to 2 hours was getting everything prepped for the video. And then it was recording the video, which was a catastrophe. So then I stop and I go back to a save copy and I try again, and that's another 30 to 40 minutes, and then I realize no, that's not going to work. So that puts us in 4 hours. Okay, so then I stop and I switch some things around. I put that drill on the other tractor and started recording this. So by the time we're done, it'll probably be 5 to 6 hours that it took to get 30 minutes of video, and then that goes into render, and it's going to take another 2 to 3 hours for it to be ready to upload. So it's I don't know, I don't want to say 10 to 12 hours, and not every minute of that will I be working or anything. I don't want to say 10 to 12 hours, but beginning to end to make a 30-minute video might take 12 hours. Oh, it's a scene, man. It's a scene. And wheat. Yeah, let's do wheat. And I think they only need about that much. And I have a feeling we're going to be dumping the rest of that back in the hopper. during the first time that I tried to record the video, several hours ago, I was talking about, well, and this is, oh, moment please, OCD is like, pick up those eggs. And what I hate about the eggs is you don't get any money for them, and I really don't understand the purpose of them. I know, is it Hofbergman? Yeah, there's a map called Hofbergman that has like a legit chicken farming thing you can do, like chicken and egg farming. But it's like a whole process. You have to buy chicklets and seedlings and all kinds of stuff. But then you like actually make money from chickens. And I feel like the eggs, I mean, I guess like at the very, very beginning of a map, maybe it makes sense to sell eggs because you get a few £100 for them, a few €100, whatever. But once you've really done anything on a map, the amount of money that you make for eggs is so trivial, and it never goes up. Like you can't buy more chickens or anything. I think you used to be able to buy more chickens, but you, right? Like all you can ever make from it is a couple £100 a day. So later in a map, when you're making thousands of pounds a day, like what, right? You see what I'm saying? So it's just eggs, man. Eggs. Right. Let's see if I can get this in one swing. So, last episode when I was recording, I was talking about how making these videos has, I still love gaming. It's still fun. It's certainly not work. It's not working. I mean, I'm not doing this professionally. I haven't made a dime doing it. I'm doing it because I really enjoy it, and I want to engage with the community, and I want to make videos like the videos that people have made that I've enjoyed, that have taught me so much about these games and how to solve problems, and right, like just you can't figure something out in a sim. What do? You go on YouTube and you find a video of somebody solving that problem. So that's what I wanted to do, and that's what I've done. Let me get this to the right side. There it is. That's why I want to make these videos. It's certainly not work. If I ever make any money, that's fantastic. I'm not opposed to it. I would love to make, man, if I made $1, if I made $1 playing video games, I would be so smug about that. For all the people that have ever told me in my life, like, oh, what are you going to do? Play video games professionally? No, man. It's not. Oh, people are silly. Anyway. So if I made any money at all, you know what, if I made enough money to support my hobby, which is probably a few $1,000s a year between hardware and Sims, let's say a few $1,000s a year. If I made a few $1,000s a year, which is really only a few $100 a month, and we are going to stop here because courseplay is courseplay. This whole day, man, this whole gaming day has just been this sort of, like, you see this right here? This is a metaphor for my entire gaming day. It's just been it's hard to even describe how ridiculous it's been. I'll finish this manually and knock this out manually right now. So, I was talking about, get rid of this because we're not even using it anymore. I was talking about how having the responsibility, I guess that's the best word for it, because it's not a job, it's not work, but I'm serious about, you know, having these videos out on time every day, not missing days, you know, I don't want to be slack about it. And there's a video editing app that I use called Shotcut, which is open source. It's good. It works, I think, really well. You go to the website, like for support or whatever. And I swear, I'm not joking when I say this, and I've seen it multiple times. But somebody will have a problem or, an issue or something, and the developer, and apparently it's just one guy, but the developer will be like, you're getting it for free. What's the big deal? And every time I see that, it's like, wait, what? Are you for real? And I saw in one thread he said, I just made this for me, and then I gave it away. So, take it or leave it. If you don't like it, go find another one. And I think, no, you didn't make this for yourself. You may have made it to do things that you couldn't find another app that it did them. But if you just made it for yourself, you wouldn't have released it. You would have, right? You would have kept it. And then nobody would know about it. You're putting it out there as open source software because you want people to use it. And you're not trying to make any money from it. It's open source. You're giving it away. That's very cool. But don't pretend you just made it for yourself and then people are like, oh, they found it or something. You made it because you wanted people to use it. And you wanted to make a product that helps people or whatever. But then to come at it on the forum like, I just made it for myself. Whatever. I don't buy that. So I feel like if I'm going to make these videos, I can't ever have an attitude like, whatever. Take it or leave it. You can watch them, don't watch them. I'll put them up. Maybe I won't. I don't like that attitude. I feel like if you're going to do something, you don't get to pretend that these videos as an example. If I'm going to do this, I can't at any point pretend like, whatever. I was just doing it. I'm putting a fair amount of time into these. So there's really no excuse, I guess. I'm saying that there's no way for me to say, whatever, I was just doing a thing. Like, no, man, this is a serious thing that I'm putting some time and effort into. I can't blow it off later and just pretend like it was never a big deal. Whatever. To me, it doesn't work that way. So that means I have a responsibility to stay on the schedule that I posted and to follow through on the commitment that I've made. And that's really put a kind of a new twist on gaming for me because there's never been a time in my life before where I ever had to game for any reason other than I wanted to. So today, like with this, if I was just doing this for fun, I would have turned this off hours ago because it has been so incredibly frustrating, and it's about to get more frustrating when we go get on that ridiculous drill. But that's not the deal I made, I guess. I've committed to a certain whatever, and now I need to do that. So it's been an interesting day, and it's been interesting for me to think about that transition where I still love gaming, but I never thought that I would game for any reason other than just because I wanted to. I never thought that I would need to feel a sense of responsibility to game. It's not bad, but it is different, and it's certainly, in hindsight, it's sort of obvious, but it's not something that I anticipated. Looking at it now, it's like, oh, well, of course it was going to be that way. But no, hop back in there. Got to unlock the hubs. Right, we're all set. Okay, so now we run back up and hop into 7810. If it's really, really messing up, like if it's really not cooperating at all, and then I'm just going to call it, and I'll drill that field off camera, and unfortunately, we'll have to get rid of that drill, which is a shame because it's a beautiful mod, but I haven't used it for a long time. I think maybe I haven't even used it since last summer, and since then, the terrain control mods have all updated multiple times. More Realistic has updated multiple times, and we also have Gearbox running now, and what's our other Is there another realism mod we're running? Gearbox. We're running the fuel use mod from, you know what? I bet I can get there this way. We're running the fuel use mod from Black Panther Group, and that affects torque. We've got a bunch of what I would generically refer to as physics mods running. And I think all of them combined really kind of take a toll on this. I mean, this tractor is 175 horsepower, which is no, I mean, that's tractor horsepower, which is 175 horsepower, but it's a billion foot-pounds of torque, like all tractors. So for it to not be able to, easily and smoothly back up over, this field has a decent slope to it, but you know what I mean. This 175 horsepower should, in my opinion, easily be able to back up across this field, and the fact that it can't, I think, can be attributed to, you gotta go forward now, buddy. There you go. Yeah, see, back wheels are like more or less off the ground, and it just struggles. Although this is, I have to say, this is better than it's been in the past. It was really, I was fighting it earlier. I was fighting it. That is probably the smoothest row. Probably the smoothest row that I've cut. This, I don't know, episode, this adventure. How do we want to do this? Again, probably not any type of recognized farming technique, but I'm just going to throw some rows in here and then back up across what I've planted and be done with it and get the H off this episode, because it's, oh man, I'm struggling. I got out. I'll even show you. I got out. If you're not familiar with this mod, you ready? Look at this. All of this stuff is adjustable, like every single one of these. So there is inter-row distance, the body height, the tail, the seed size selector, the micro selector, the seed lids, the micro lids, the wheel disc. Swap the disc out. You can control the edge, you can control the soil leveler, and you can move the discs. Yeah. I tried all those things. Couldn't get it to work. And then I checked out a bunch of videos, and in the videos, there was none of that. Like, they more or less just threw it on a tractor and off they went. And I felt like for it to struggle on two tractors that's not a question of, because initially I thought, well, the 6R, maybe it just sits too low, or maybe the linkage, or maybe the drawbar is, right? Something, it's got something to do with the tractor. And then I put it on the 7810 and had exactly the same problem. And at that point it was like, no, this is some kind of terrain mod that we're running that's effing things up, because it is, it's effed up, man, with a capital F. Whew. But this is going smoothly. If the other field that I had drilled sunflower into had gone this smoothly, I would have kept the episode. But it was just an absolute nightmare. And then at one point I may have started kind of cussing a lot, which is try to keep it a little bit family friendly. Come on, buddy. Come on. Come on. There you go. Yep. Come on, Gearbox. Come on. And what else is funny? It's almost past funny. It might even be hilarious. Is I do, like, intentionally make the game as realistic as I can, and then when it's super realistic, I'm like, God damn it, it's so realistic. well, yeah, man. You did that. You did that. You made yourself miserable. And I certainly did. So, thankfully, this is coming together. We got the pigs fed, and we'll get this done. But oh man, it was a toss up there for a minute. I was just about to like have a fit, which is, I'm told, quite entertaining. There's some people when they have a fit, it's like they're scary and they make you really uncomfortable and it's like not cool. And there are other people that have a fit, you just kind of want to laugh at them. I am the latter. Like me having a fit is like watching somebody karate kick their stuffed animals, right? Like, you know, they're letting it out, man. They're just pouting it out. Nobody's going to get hurt. We don't need to call the cops. It's not going to be like a big drama. They're just getting it out of their system. That's me. I am the latter when it comes to having a fit. But I was close to having a fit. Right, so 2 more rows and we'll call it good. And you know the other thing that's funny is then we need to get a damn combine harvester in here. How are we going to do that? I don't even know, man. Whatever. I'm just playing it by ear. Oh, come on. More realistic. Back up. Back up. You got this. Come on. 2 more passes. 2 more passes. Right. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yep. You got it. You got it. There it is. You got it. You got it right there. There you go. Now, here's what else is funny. These tractors are actually a little too big for the map. All right, we covered that in like episode 2. As small as they are, they're a little big for the map. But with more realistic, like we've got that 3-meter Amazon. Come on. Come on. There you go. There you go. You got it. Come on. You got it. Come on, buddy. Oh, perfect. We've got that 3-meter Amazon, right? It's one of the smallest sewing machines I think you can get. And it's pulling the front wheels of our 6R off the ground. We had to get a weight for that. It's, right? Like there is no smaller drill that we can get. And this one, I mean, it's pretty small. It calls for 90 horsepower. But what I'm saying is like we've got small equipment. And I feel like, you know, something like this drill, it's like it's calling for bigger equipment, but we can't run bigger tractors on the map. There we go. There we go. We can't run bigger tractors. I don't want to say we're stuck with this size equipment, but you know what I mean? Like we can't just get bigger tractors and throw our implements on them and be like, oh, you know, job done. It's not, that's not going to solve the problem. So let's back out of the hedge eventually, and I'm just about out of fuel too. Perfect timing. So now let's start to fold that. Come on. Oh, realism. How I love you. Whew. Woo-saw. Right. So we have everything drilled now but our corn. And we're going to drill our corn. We're going to have to wait a few days. So I may skip ahead. Did I hit it? Where am I scraping? I may skip ahead a few days to day 7 of spring, because that's when we can plant our corn. And there's really nothing happening on the map in the meantime. Ooh. Right. So I can turn these off. And you want to see me like unpack this thing and take the pipes off it and everything? Do you even care? How long have we been recording? 20 minutes? 30? Let's at least move everything back to the... Let's at least move everything back to the farm. And then we'll call it. Park some things up. What was I talking about? Corn. We just need to put our corn in, and we can't do that till day 7. So what I may do is skip ahead to day 7. And then when you come back, we'll plant corn. And there's really nothing going on between now and then. We can't mow till the first day of summer. So what I might do is skip ahead to day 7, come back and drill corn, and then skip ahead to day 1 of summer, and that would be when our grass is up. I may pop in between now and then because we can put narrow tires, we can put row crop tires on our 7810, which I tested. It looks hilarious. But we can do that and throw our broadcast spreader on and get a second layer of fertilizer on things as they're ready for it, as things grow. Potatoes haven't grown yet at all. Trying to think what else we have in. Barley, obviously, we just put in yesterday. That hasn't grown at all yet. But within a few days, and certainly by the first day of summer, everything will be ready for fertilizer. Right, so we'll get this parked up, run back up, grab the 7810, and I won't disconnect everything. I'll just bring it back down to the farm. Get it into the yard. And there's really no use disconnecting everything because we're just going to put it back on to drill corn anyway. Do you drill corn? Do you plant corn? Do you seed corn? You know what I'm saying. And on the way out of the yard, I want to show you one other thing as well. You know we're running the AdBlue DEF mod by Black Panther. Also the handbrake mod by Black Panther. That's that hiss you hear every time I hop out of a vehicle. I do set the brake. So this is our AdBlue, our DEF storage. It used to be that you had to install it with the Giants editor. You can buy it at the store now and place both the pump and the storage. I didn't know that, so I went ahead and placed them with the Giants editor as I always do. Now, it used to be that this storage tank came loaded with 2,000 liters of AdBlue. You really don't use a whole lot of it, so 2,000 liters could last you until you got bored with a farm and moved on to the next one. So now it comes empty, but I didn't know that. So I kept pulling into the trigger, and I couldn't figure out why it wasn't working and why I couldn't put DEF in any of my tractors. And I had to get where is it? I had to get the DEF trailer right there. Go to the pump at the store. In Giants Editor, I installed the DEF pump where you actually buy it, like the retail pump. I put that down at the implement store. So I had to drive the trailer over to the pump, fill it, and then bring it over, transfer it to the tank on the farm, and then sell the trailer. So if you're new to the AdBlue DEF mod, it used to be that it came preloaded with a couple thousand liters. It no longer does, so you will have to fill it before you can use it the first time, or just fill up at the store. And this is a small enough map that I could have just done that. It's only, it's just a few minutes away. It's not like we need to drive all the way across the map. Right, let's get this parked, call it an episode. You want to take the pipes off? I'll take the pipes off. I don't know if you've seen this mod, if you're familiar with it. It's a full year old, and it was it may have won something. It's an amazing mod, but it is so needlessly complicated. And what's funny about it is all those things that you can change and adjust have absolutely no impact on anything. It's all cosmetic. It's fun, but it doesn't do anything. And for it to not be working anyway. Now, that's not necessarily the fault of the mod. I think that has more to do with, like I said, the physics mods that I've put in place. But you get what I'm saying. Like, for all that hassle for it to not work anyway, regardless of whose fault it is, at a certain point, it's like, it's just not cool. So the way that you take the pipes off this thing, if I can get situated here, there's a pallet. When you buy the front tank, I want to say it comes with the pipes. And there's a pallet that the pipes are on, which is, you can see it right there. I'm going to pull the hopper up. Right? Can you see it? So you can see right in front of the front wheels, that's the pallet. And then if you hop out, over here, it should say remove pipes. You can get to the right place. Remove pipes. Now it does the command I shares a menu. So when we hit I, it does remove the pipes, but it also opens that other menu. So pipes are gone. And we will reverse over to the shed and get this dropped off. Yeah, it's a great mod. It's obviously had an unbelievable amount of time and effort and planning put into it, but it's almost like it's too clever for its own good, because all the things that you can change, all the things that you can do, it doesn't actually affect anything. You just sort of play with it for what that's worth, right? Get this back up. I'm going to throw the shield back on here and put the 7810 in the garage. Right. Drop that off. And I need to remember where I left my shield. That thing also kills your frame rate because it's got about 1 million polys in it. But you sort of knew that. Like, you can see all the moving parts and all the adjustability, so it's definitely a frame rate beast. Right. There's my shield. Cool. Okay, so all we have left to drill now is corn. There it is. All we have left to drill is corn. And we've already started making baby pigs. Alright. Didn't think it was going to happen, but I feel like I've somewhat salvaged this episode. And let me see. Is that right? Yep. We're going to put corn in field 21. Everything's going to need fertilizer. Get rid of that. Yeah, everything has a single layer except for 33, 1, 3, and 9. So all these can get a second layer, etc., etc. And then for grass, yeah, there's a trailed mower. There's a John Deere trailed mower that I've got my eye on. I'll wrap it there. I feel like I need to go longer to make amends, but you didn't see all the drama from earlier, so it doesn't really matter. Is that a screenshot? If I could get out in front of, yeah. Maybe that's a screenshot. Maybe. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out the Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Farming Simulator 2017. And we will see you next time. Take care now.